What's up, guys? Hey, it's Ryan Lee coming back with step number 4 in the financial freedom formula. Guys, our whole focus of these webinars, of these videos, is to share with you in quick bite-sized samples how you can achieve financial freedom in your life in 10 years or less. And it's quite simple. When you understand the formula, it's just like 1 + 1 = 2, right? Financial planning for most people is so vague, so ambiguous. They have their fingers crossed. They hope it's all going to work out. What we're going to show you how to do, and what we have been showing you how to do, is to shift away from all of that stuff that does not work and to shift into something that you can achieve tangible, measurable results in 10 years or less, okay? So financial freedom formula, step number 4, the cash flow banking, the ultimate financial tool of the wealthy. Now, I'm going to preface this video with just a little story. I'll never forget the first time I heard about this strategy. I was getting my master's degree in finance at the time, and I thought I knew everything I needed to know about finance. Now, granted, my financial plan was in the crapper, right? It wasn't working, but I thought I knew everything, right? I had my money in a 401k, the stock market was going to work, everything was awesome. And I remember when I sat in my original mentor's office and he shared with me this strategy, I thought I knew how personal finance worked. When he shared with me some very, very simple math that we're going to cover here today and over a few other videos, my jaw literally dropped to the floor. I realized that, number one, not only was I not doing what I needed to do, number two, I needed to be doing the exact opposite of what I was doing at that point. Okay? So cash flow banking, the ultimate financial tool of the wealthy. Now, last time what we talked about is we talked about the paradigm shift required for most people to start thinking about their finances differently. Today we're going to be talking about the dual goal of savings, okay? So think about your savings plan. Where are you putting your money, and ultimately what do you want to accomplish, right? What do you want out of your financial plan? For most people, there are really two aspects or two phases of their financial plan. They want to put their money somewhere that they can grow their wealth over time. And then at some future point, they want to transition out of their working career and turn to that accumulated savings and start taking income from it, right? So that's how traditional finance is done. There's a cash flow phase and there's a growth phase. We're going to talk about why most people don't ever earn compound interest. Now, I know that might be a slap in the face, but it's true. Most people don't ever earn compound interest, and it's for two reasons that we're going to talk about today. We'll come back and talk more about cash flow here in a future video, okay? Since we are talking about formulas, we're gonna review or go back to Albert Einstein. And Albert Einstein, whether he said this or not, it's attributed to him. So he says compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, and those who understand it earn it; those who don't pay it. Okay. Think to yourself, do you understand compound interest? Are you earning compound interest? Or are you suffering the consequences of your lack of understanding and paying it? So let's talk a little bit about why most people don't earn compound interest. Now, I'm going to bring this up and I'm going to actually show you where you can actually get this calculator yourself. Let's see if we can get the blue to go away. There we go. This is a pretty little graph of compound interest, right? This is what we all want our money to do. And you can kind of see compound interest is nothing more than a function of time. Right down here at the bottom, we have years, and up here at the top, we have how much money our money is going to compound and grow to. And you'll notice in the beginning, everything's kind of small, and I'm going to show these numbers here in just a minute, but we hit kind of this middle point where everything just starts to go vertical. Now, what happens to most people is they never hit the middle point. They compound for a little while, and then they lose their money. They compound for a little while, and then they take their money and they spend it. But either way, they break the compound interest curve and they end up with a fraction of what they thought they would ultimately have. So guys, if you want everything I'm sharing with you in this video and all the other videos, if you want access to this financial freedom formula, including this calculator and all of the other tools that we've included, text cash flow to 797979. Cash flow to 797979. Okay, now in this financial freedom formula, you'll be able to download this graph, this calculator here, and it shows you exactly how compound interest works. So what I've got here is I've got this queued up to show us what if we've got someone saving $25,000 a year for 50 years and he's earning 5% interest rate. This individual would have saved $1.2 million of his own money, but what we notice over here on the right side of this graph is that this individual ends up with far more money than he's actually saved, right? He ends up close to $6 million. Now down here, $5.5 million. Now what this means is in order for this individual to achieve this, he has to go the entire time without ever touching this money. Now, if you're saving money without ever the intention of touching it, what is the point, right? Are you just saving it up to pass it on to future generations? And that might be the case. But what happens with so many people is they get things going, right? So let's say for this individual, let's pick year 7, right? Individual saved $25,000 a year. In year 7, he has about $178,000. But let's say in this year, he's got a really fancy idea. He wants to build his dream house. He's been hoping and wanting to do this for a long time. And so he decides to withdraw $100,000 out of his account, right? Now, what you'll notice is something just happened, right? The account just started to get going, and now it takes a slight dip. Now, not too bad, but he loses $100,000. He goes and buys a nice house, and so he gets to enjoy that. But let's say in year 15, let's say maybe his kids start going to college. And every year for the next few years, he needs to take out $50,000 out of his savings. All right, so let's put this $50,000 in here. Let's just say 3 years, right? Pays for 3 years. What you'll notice is, again, this individual took $50,000 out of his account 3 years in a row. And what we get down here is we get now, rather than having $5.5 million, right? We thought we were going to have, if we never touched the money, we were going to have about $5.5 million in the first example. Now, after taking out just $250,000, this individual ends up with $3.89 million. That's a difference of almost 30%. Now, $3.8 million 50 years from now might be okay. But the whole problem with this, the whole idea is most people never earn compound interest because they don't have time on their side. Worse yet, what if they put this money in the stock market, right? What if the stock market comes in and in year 10, this individual loses 50% of his portfolio, just like many did in the year 2000. Again, you can kind of see how this works. Every time we lose money, it's going to eliminate and minimize and diminish our future value of what this account truly can do. And what happens with most people is their financial plan, their compounding curve, ends up looking like this. It goes up for a little while and then it comes down. It goes up for a little while and then it comes down, and they never truly hit that hockey. What am I trying to say? That hockey stick curve-like approach, right? So the way, and I'm going to bring up a couple more things on this calculator. I want you to see how powerful this is, right? So what if we have a 20-year-old who saves $5,000 a year, and each one of these graphs here, I've got them set up on 7%. So what if this individual wants to have $1.7 million, give or take, at age 75, okay? So if this individual starts early, all they have to do is save $5,000 for 10 years. If they save $5,000 and let that money ride and compound at 7%, at age 70, they have $1.7 million. What if, on the other hand, that this individual waits? They graduate, they pay down school loans, they play, they have a good time, and they don't actually start saving until year 31. Well, what happens now is in year 31, this individual needs to save $8,800 per year, not just for 10 years, but for 15 years, earning the same 7% rate of return. Now they end up with the same amount of money. What happens if they wait even further, right? And this is where so many of my clients come to me. Most of the people I work with are in their 40s, maybe their 50s, and they're trying to figure out, oh man, I don't have very much time left. How am I going to bridge the gap and get what I need? But what if this individual starts when they're 40? Same rate of return, 7%, but now they're going to have to save $12,500 for the rest of their life, all the way up to age 65, to get the same amount of income or the same amount of savings. So it's just a function of time. Down here on this, I'm not going to go through this, but this shows you the power of starting really early. What if you save money for your kids, right? If you start at age 1 and save $2,400 a year for 10 years and let it compound at 7%, at age 65, they have $1.4 million. But if you don't start until they're 18, you have to save double the amount of money. If they don't start until age 25, they have to have triple the amount of money. Okay, so it's all about time. So the main thing I want you to understand is most people don't earn compound interest because, number one, they lose it. Or number two, they put their money in a place and then they take the money out and they use it for something. Now, at the end of the day, what is money really all about, right? We want our money to be utilized to create the experiences in the life that we want. We want to build a house. We want to take our family on vacation. So how do we balance these goals of having our money grow and creating value, creating life in the interim? And how can we have our money compound indefinitely every single year, but have the ability to use our money? Okay, so right here's where you'll download this calculator that I shared with you. And I'm going to stop with a quote here by Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett says that his wealth has come from a combination of living in America and compound interest. So guys, what I'm going to share with you on the next webinar is how you can use the cash flow banking system to achieve two goals. How you can have your money steadily, consistently compounding every single year without a down year, and have your money be open to utilizing it for other things as well. For me, I've used it from anything from real estate to medical expenses to refurbishing the home that I live in now. So guys, I'm going to share with you this strategy. I'm excited, but remember, if you want a copy of this financial freedom formula, text cash flow to 797979 and join me on the next video. Thanks, guys.